I feel like he's a hater.
Okay,
If I'm gonna be a 1000%.
It's the Real Report Show. It's all good. That's what we do.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I think yeah.
The rivalry between Terence Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis has intensified once again. Crawford responded directly to Boots, accusing the young fighter of repeatedly bringing up his name as he has attempted to establish himself in boxing.
Boots, a whole motion is built off of Terence Crawford. He should thank me, to be honest, because if there was no Terence Crawford at this pinnacle, who would they be talking about? Who would they be comparing him with? I remember when he was a couple of fights in and people were saying, hey man, it's this little kid. When he was an amateur, in the Olympic trials, they was like, man, this dude fight like you, bud. This dude fight like you. When he was pro, this dude.
Crawford also spoke about what he viewed as disrespect, but later made it clear that he doesn't personally hold a grudge against Boots. In fact, he emphasized that he has supported Ennis for years, beginning around the Olympic trials and continuing by showing up to his fights. Crawford explained that he genuinely wants to see Boots develop, succeed, and eventually reach the highest level of the sport.
Like, a lot of people say, oh man, Bud always hating, like what?
Boots, however, refused to let the criticism pull his attention away from his objectives. He dismissed the negativity and continued expressing complete confidence in his abilities. Ennis still considers himself one of the best fighters at 154 pounds and believes every time he enters the ring, he gets another opportunity to demonstrate exactly where he belongs among the division's elite.
I don't pay that no mind, though. None of that stuff be bothering me, but like I said, I'm the best at 154. Everybody know it, and I'm gonna keep standing each every time out.
Brian Norman Sr. also acknowledged the natural talent Ennis possesses, but questioned whether Boots has accomplished enough to prove that he is truly an exceptional fighter. Norman believes Ennis has the ability to compete against elite opposition. However, he feels Boots still needs to demonstrate the qualities that separate a very good fighter from someone who becomes genuinely special.
But I think he's no better than anybody else. I do not think he's a special talent. I have never thought he was a special talent. You feel?
AOI came to Boots' defense by noting that Crawford himself faced criticism regarding the quality of his opposition earlier in his career. His argument is that Ennis remains in the process of building his professional resume and shouldn't necessarily be judged by the same standards as someone who has already spent years establishing a historic legacy.
Look at Crawford's career. Until the end of his career, Crawford hadn't fought anybody that people thought that had a chance against him. You know what I'm saying? That was his biggest criticism, was his strength of opposition. So for him to use that same criticism on an up-and-coming Boots not at the tail end of his career.
Andy Ruiz took a different approach when comparing the two fighters. In his assessment, Crawford remains comfortably ahead of Boots at this stage because of his experience, technical skills, popularity, accomplishments, and commercial value. Ruiz believes Bud's extensive list of achievements gives him a significant advantage over Ennis for the time being.
Well, I think it's attention, but Terence is on another level right now. I mean, he's on another level.
When you say another level, do you mean like marketability-wise, name-wise, or you mean talent-wise?
All the above.
Bob Arum also explained why preparing for Crawford has always been such a difficult task. One of Bud's biggest strengths is his ability to fight effectively from both the orthodox and southpaw stances. That versatility forces opponents to constantly make adjustments, and Arum believes Crawford's unpredictable approach has played a major role in the success he has enjoyed throughout his career.
Crawford is an awfully good fighter, and, it would take a real wizard to beat him. Crawford has something that no other fighter around has, and people haven't commented on it, and that is he fights equally well as a southpaw or as a right-hander. And so when you train for a fight, usually the fighter he's fighting trains for him as an orthodox fighter, right-handed fighter. And so from the first round on, he'll turn southpaw, and the guy isn't ready for him. That's what beats Spence.
While the Crawford situation continues generating headlines, attention is increasingly shifting toward Boots' next potential challenge. A possible showdown between Jaron Boots Ennis and Sebastian Fundora is becoming more intriguing, with both fighters appearing to move closer toward what could be a major junior middleweight collision.
Well, if you listen to Boots, what's next? Boots already sound on Fundora. I think Fundora is one of the best fighters in.
Boots Ennis has also expressed significant respect for Fundora as a potential opponent. He described Sebastian as one of the top fighters competing at 154 pounds and said he would welcome the opportunity for his son to face him. Boots even suggested that the matchup could potentially take place later this year, indicating that there is genuine interest in turning the idea into an actual fight.
Fundora. I think Fundora is one of the best fighters in that division, and Boots sound Fundora. So Fundora said he's going to fight Boots. So it'll probably be in December. Probably be. I'm just throwing it off because Fundora going to fight now.
Boots himself appears completely open to taking on Fundora. He views the matchup as exactly the type of major challenge boxing fans have been demanding. Fundora brings championship experience, extraordinary height, and rare physical dimensions, giving Ennis another opportunity to prove himself against one of the most difficult opponents available in the division.
Because he got a belt and he's 6'5" or 6'6" or something like that. That's something that everybody gonna want to go see that. Like, they want to see how I match up.
Robert Garcia, however, sees several potential obstacles for Boots in that matchup. He believes Fundora's incredible height, awkward movement, and physical advantages could make the fight extremely difficult for Ennis. Garcia has also noticed significant improvements in Sebastian's overall game. Considering the contrasting styles, he believes Fundora could have the edge if these two eventually meet inside the ring.
Against Fundora, man, I think it's tough, man. Fundora has a style that's not gonna make you look good. I would say I favor Fundora on that one, man. It's a fight that's not gonna be easy for Boots because styles make fights, and Fundora lately, since he became champion, he's getting better and better and better. There ain't nothing stopping Fundora.
Garcia expanded on the matchup by explaining why Fundora can be such an awkward and frustrating fighter to deal with. He believes opponents need to maintain constant pressure, attack the body, and stop the tall champion from establishing his preferred rhythm. Ennis, however, typically depends more on speed, movement, timing, and technical precision rather than relentless pressure, which makes Garcia question whether Boots' natural approach will be enough to neutralize Fundora's unique advantages.
That's not going to give up, and he's going to keep coming, working the body, and just kind of bullying Fundora into a fight, pressuring him into a tough fight. I think that's the style that might hurt Fundora, but Boots could also fight smart. He's he's got good footwork too. He's got good speed. So I don't think Boots is the type of brawler that's going to push Fundora back. So I think that right there, I favor Fundora on that one. I think so. I think it's probably
Brian McIntyre expressed strong respect for both fighters while analyzing the potential showdown. He praised Fundora for rebuilding his career after suffering the first defeat of his professional journey. McIntyre also recognized the way Boots has navigated difficult challenges while rising through the division. In his eyes, both fighters have accomplished enough at the highest level to make a meeting between them a significant event for the boxing world.
With the range and the height he got, even though he'd been beat before, since then he's just been cleaning them up. And so we all waiting to see, when those two or three, like the four kings, when they tangle. So we, as boxing fans, we just sit back and wait.
Yeah. Is it kind of nice to not be part of that, like the politics? You could be a fan.
I love it.
You don't have to deal with the nonsense, right?
I love it, man. I love it. I love the part that, like you said, just sit back and watch them, see how it all play out. And so, Boots, he got over that.
Tim Bradley favored Boots when breaking down the matchup from a stylistic perspective. He believes Ennis has the athletic ability and offensive diversity required to handle Fundora's exceptional size and reach. Bradley highlighted Boots' speed, combination punching, quick reactions, and body attacks as potential weapons that could give the much taller champion serious problems throughout the fight.
Style that I believe that can give him fits because of his elusiveness. And Boots is quick on the trigger. He's not as long as this guy, but he's not, he got about 74. This other, Fundora has about 80-inch reach. But he has a quick first step. He throws combinations. He is a risk taker. He's a hell of a body puncher. He has a large toolbox, I think, that can give a guy like...
Bradley also understands exactly why Fundora remains such a dangerous challenge. His massive frame, southpaw stance, punching power, and improved ability to manage distance make him extremely difficult to solve. Bradley explained that anyone attempting to close the gap must be prepared to deal with Fundora's continuous offense. Despite suffering a knockout loss in his career, Bradley still views Sebastian as one of the toughest opponents available in the 154-pound division.
Could give Boots a run from his money. He could. And I only say that because of his attributes. Not because of his boxing skills. It's because of his attributes. That's why. This guy has, and it's Sebastian Fundora. You guys know who he is. He's a southpaw too, right? He has range. He has volume. He has punching power as well. Okay? He knows how to keep his distance. He's difficult. I know he's been knocked out before. I know that. But you got to go through a dang rain of fire to be able to get close to this guy.
Eddie Hearn emphasized another crucial element of the potential showdown, Fundora's rare combination of physical dimensions and unconventional style. In Hearn's opinion, those traits make Sebastian extremely difficult to prepare for. However, he still trusts Boots' ability to adapt, pointing to Ennis's intelligence, versatility, and problem-solving skills inside the ring as qualities that could eventually allow him to figure out the champion.
To everything, and that's the problem. A lot of these guys, no disrespect to Keith Thurman, but he's been done for a while. Yeah. But Tim Tszyu, these kind of guys, they're all great fighters, but they just can't adapt to styles. Josh has got an unbelievable IQ. Boots has probably got the best IQ in the game, I think. They can adapt in those kind of fights, and that's what you need to do, because Fundora is a massive problem. Yeah. Because how do you prepare for it? I mean, so until you get in there, start getting hit by these,
Sean Porter also picked Boots because of the wide range of tools Ennis brings into competition. He emphasized Boots' speed, explosiveness, athleticism, and complete boxing ability. At the same time, Porter warned that Fundora's unusual rhythm and extraordinary size create a challenge that is almost impossible to perfectly reproduce in training camp. For Porter, preparation and having the right game plan could prove just as important as natural talent when the two finally meet.
This looks like he's supposed to beat Sebastian Fundora because he's so fast, because he's so electric, because he's shown tremendous power, because he's shown so many different movements and techniques, and everything jumps off the screen when it's Boots Ennis. But then when you got, like I always like to say, another weapon standing across from you, negating some of the things you do, forcing you to turn off some of the stuff you do. Now here's the thing that makes this guy dangerous to Boots. What I feel I know about Boots, I don't know if they game plan. To me, it seems like Boots is like, and Dad Bozy, we just gonna get you ready. Can't nobody beat you. Well, sometimes you gotta get ready for the guy across from you. And what I now know about this dude, he getting ready for who's across from him. And that's why I'm breathing like that, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, he's going to be ready, he's going to have the right weapons, and he's going to be calling on the right weapons.
Paul Malignaggi placed significant emphasis on Fundora's development as a fighter. He believes Sebastian has become calmer, more complete, and more disciplined than the fighter fans saw earlier in his career. Malignaggi pointed to improvements in his movement, distance control, and decision-making. Despite those developments, Fundora still carries the enormous size, toughness, and physical strength that have made him such a difficult assignment in the 154-pound division.
A lot of adjustments to his style since he's getting better. Fundora's getting better, and Fundora's becoming more and more difficult to deal with. He's understanding how to adjust his distance, and a guy who knows how to measure his distance at 6'5", 6'6", at junior middleweight is very, very tough. This Fundora is a bit more difficult to get to, but he knows how to take the half steps back, push out, slide in and slide out, and make you pay. And he can still punch, and he's still.
Gary Russell Jr. believes Boots will require a carefully designed strategy to overcome Fundora. According to Russell, raw ability alone will not be sufficient against a champion with such unusual physical dimensions. Ennis will have to identify the right opportunities to enter the pocket, stay active with his footwork, apply pressure intelligently, and maintain a strong balance between attacking and defending throughout the fight.
It's his man down. it's always like they either the same height. The styles make it where as though they just like in the center pocket, middle of the ring, and they just going like skill for skill. You know what I mean? With this 7'8" tall guy, he like 7'8". He's not about to stand there. He might, you know, but Boots is really going to have to show a different side of his ability. He's going to have to walk forward. He's going to have to move his head a lot more, not just be defensive discipline, but he's going to have to work in between. He's going to have to be defensive and offensively equally as good. You know what I mean? He's going to have to work it together simultaneously.
Chris Algieri also explained why Fundora creates such a difficult preparation problem. His extreme height and unconventional fighting style are nearly impossible to duplicate in a normal training camp, making it difficult for opponents to experience the same challenges before fight night. Algieri praised Fundora's growth, particularly his patience, improved jab, and stronger defensive awareness. Even so, he believes Boots possesses enough versatility and ability to compete with anyone in the 154-pound division.
It's such a difficult puzzle. He's so long, and he's getting better. He's improving. He's improving. He's learning how to use his size. He's using his jab. He's being more disciplined. He's not taking risks like he used to. Talk about a guy who used to allow people to hit him and then has figured out that you shouldn't do that at the highest level in that Brian Mendoza fight. But since then, he's been very, very good. So, yeah, I can understand why people would see him as the final guy because, again, with those physical advantages and the way that he's getting better, very, very difficult to deal with. And Jaron, with the level of talent he has, he can beat anybody on any given night. So, yeah, it's a...
Sean Zittel highlighted the way Fundora has learned to transform his physical advantages into genuine tactical weapons. According to Zittel, Sebastian now uses his height and reach much more intelligently, controlling distance while making opponents uncomfortable. Although Fundora does not fight like a conventional defensive technician, Zittel believes his ring IQ, patience, and decision-making have improved considerably. He takes fewer unnecessary chances now and approaches fights with a much more calculated style.
Height, he's gotten a lot better at doing it. It's making him harder to beat. But the downside of his frame is his waist is not flexible. And thus, there's going to be really no head movement from Sebastian Fundora. His defense is his offense. And his defense, what makes him harder to hit is using the most of his distance and of his height and having a good sense of distance, when not to force the uppercut, which he doesn't do anymore, really. When to, you know, the right punch at the right distance, and the volume of punches is his defense. But I felt that he did show being more defensively sound. And he even took a step back once or twice or three times, which for him is a significant development, okay? This is a guy who would just go downhill, downhill, downhill off his jab, and you could just wing shots, and he's going to be right there, and you're going to...
Stephen Edwards believes Fundora represents a major challenge because of his rare dimensions, durability, and ability to dictate the action behind his jab. However, Edwards also pointed to evidence that the champion can be hurt and pressured, referencing Fundora's defeat against Brian Mendoza as an example. He believes Boots has the accuracy, punching power, and aggressive mentality necessary to target those weaknesses, potentially turning the matchup into a highly competitive and explosive battle.